people, I have another Midwestern hazy hoppy beer. This one's from Mikerphone Brewing. It's called Mikerphone Drop. And it is a double dry hopped pale ale using only Citra, 5.5%. I know I'm gonna like this one. I had a taste of it at the brewery and then was like, I'm gonna buy 2 4-packs. It was like really hazy, and like even for a beer like this low alcohol and with this much of lack of bitterness, it had quite a bit of throat burn. We'll see if it's still kind of palatable if I drink a whole 12-ounce bottle of it. I think it will be, and this is definitely like the best Mikerphone beer I've had. I only had a couple of their different double IPAs before this that I was like honestly not very impressed with, even though some of those have pretty high ratings. I guess I didn't get the best ones, but a double dry hopped hazy beer that uses Citra hops, it's kind of like almost like cheating. It's like it's going to be really good, but you just have to not mess it up. So the one thing that I noticed with a lot of Mikerphone beers, they tend to not have the greatest head and carbonation, in part because of how hazy they are. And I poured that, you know, pretty vigorously, but you can see that the head is not going to last on this. Very hazy, smelling delicious already. I think maybe I like the Mikerphone yeast for the most part, but they're just, a lot of their beers were just too spicy, maybe too bitter. They weren't as fruity as this one is. This one is the most aromatic and fruity hoppy beer I've had from Mikerphone. Yes. It's like, it just smells a lot like a double dry hop pseudo sue or double dry hop Fort Point, but in a much smaller package. Lots and lots of pineapple, cotton candy, mango, melony, not very green at all. It smells really nice. Of course, there's hints of orange juice, super ripe orange juice, and very mild, like sweet grapefruit. Yeah, that smells delicious, and it's super murky. Like, you cannot see my finger through that one at all. It's got that creamsicle thing too, almost like vanilla. Like Citra is just a really amazing hop. Yeah, I like that, but we'll see if it gets too chalky after a couple big gulps. Good amount of body for a 5.5% alcohol beer. Some sweetness. Yeah, it's got a chalky texture right off the bat, and this has been sitting in the fridge undisturbed for not quite a week. So there's probably a healthy amount of sediment on the bottom. Yeah, that's what I've noticed, is that they get some sludge in there. It doesn't stay perfectly in suspension, but no chunks or anything yet. Yeah, I love that aroma. Really big. It reminds me just so much of Fort Point and Pseudo Sue. I would say it's a little bit closer to Trillium because I'm not getting barley notes from this. It's one of these beers that just seems like it's doesn't even have grains in it. It's so fruity, so hop forward, so much candy-like vanilla sweet. It's like it tastes like a tropical vanilla cake in my mouth, but this has no vanilla, lactose, or any of those added flavors. Just Citra is just an amazing hop, and when you use specific yeasts that have the right kind of esters that support the hop and don't stick out above it, it really seems to do magical things. When it's really cold, you can do gulps of this, but it's really, my tongue is drying out immediately, though it doesn't have actual alpha acid bitterness. I'm not getting any of that West Coast bite. It's mainly from just the insane amount of dry hopping and haze we have happening in this beer that is what's giving me these delicious flavors and aromas. But I think it's still pretty easy. The fact they packed in so much flavor to such a small beer and it's still pretty palatable, I am happy about. As you can see, this head kind of died down. I guess it looks really nice if you ignore the head and all that stuff. I mean, this would be perfect for a boss pour, but I think that just about every beer style, except for super sour beers, they should have a little bit of head retention. So it doesn't have that, but at least it's super pale. Clearly it's not oxidized. It's only been in the bottle for a week, but I think Mikerphone does know how to package things, especially these crazy hazy hoppy beers, really well. But I've just never been impressed by the head retention, which sometimes Trillium does really well. Same with Treehouse is almost always really great. But there's something that some breweries seem to struggle with in this style. Just so many tropical fruits, interesting fruity candy flavors happening. Definitely pina colada. I'm getting all these sweeter, fleshier, spicier kind of things like vanilla, coconut. Yeah, you don't need to add that to your beers. You just need to use a lot of citra hops, it seems like. It smells really pina colada-y. I love this beer. I would give this maybe even a 4 or 5. The flaws it has are very, very minor, and it's really just has to do with the head retention. Everything else about this is pretty darn good. Maybe I should take a few more gulps, see if the throat burn becomes unbearable, but it's not that bad. Yeah, fades away. Yeah, this is very nice beer. I'm pretty comfortable giving this a 4.5, and I'm super glad that I bought 2 4-packs of this. Very nice. I'd recommend trying Mikerphone, but I don't know, just maybe try to get their single IPAs and single pale ales. I tend to like those more than their double IPAs, even though everyone goes crazy for the double IPAs, more of an intense flavor smack. But double IPA is not my favorite style, and a lot of them aren't my favorite. I would highly recommend getting these. I think these ones are generally only on sale at the brewery, at least in the 4-pack bottles, which they started doing, which makes it way cheaper. So please, Mikerphone, keep making smaller packaging. Maybe even switch to cans eventually. But highly recommend Mikerphone Drop. Goodbye.